Hello and welcome to the pursuit of truth. Just a few things. It's the 27th, I think. Yeah, 27th, Friday the 27th of April, 2018. So we found out that Donald Trump is finally coming to the UK. It looked like for a long time he might have been the only US president never to come to the UK. I don't think he's ever going to get the state official greeting thing that US presidents normally get, which says everything really. Though they're saying now that he will meet the Queen, so it looks like they're going to scale it down. But it's interesting that the day they picked, and I don't know who picked the day, whether it was the UK, whether it was the US, but the day they picked is Friday the 13th of July, which has a connotation of being unlucky. I was actually born on Friday the 13th. In June, but it's interesting. I don't know if that's done on purpose or if that's a bit of smoke and mirrors so that people can talk about that. You know, it gives an easy topic to people to make jokes about it, and maybe also he can, if anything goes wrong, he can blame it on Friday the 13th rather than his ineptitude. It's also funny that he's coming on the day that there is a partial solar eclipse. Almost as if this has been done for jokes, you know, because obviously it's an easy one to make that, is that so, you know, because it's a partial solar eclipse that they're hoping that no one will see him enter the UK. So unless that's some kind of Masonic thing that's going on there, Illuminati, as if you will. And the other thing, I've been listening to a lot of subtle ethnicity videos, which I recommend on YouTube. The last podcast that I talked about, one of his videos, and the last few have been about the same sort of subject we keeps expanding on, and it's quite interesting because it makes you think about things that you wouldn't necessarily think about. Is you know, like he was mentioning before, and I know I've mentioned it previously, the white issue, white-black issue, you know, this idea of us classifying ourselves by colour. And, you know, obviously, like every form you get, especially government form, they always ask you, you know, what is your ethnicity? Are you white? Are you black African? Are you black? Are you mixed? Are you Indian or whatever? And I usually just tick whatever box, so I don't really think about it. Until he was mentioning this, that, you know, it's a construct. It's not, I'm not really white, am I? I mean, I don't even look white, you know, my complexion is like pink anyway, but it's not an actual part of me. It's something that someone's made up to divide us, specifically white and black. And there is a connotation that goes with those two things. We know all about that. We've seen the racism either way, you know, that is driven by this, especially against black people. You know, they're always deemed as, you know, that word is used to demonize them. So why are we still holding on to this thing? We shouldn't, like he was saying, we shouldn't be boxing ourselves like this. We shouldn't be giving ourselves labels. It's another problem, and I mentioned this in the last video, like with truthers and flat earthers and globers, and we, you know, conservative and Labour and Republican and Democratic. It's just a way to allow us to keep following no matter what, even though everything is bad. And it's quite profound, that idea. So luckily nowadays, a lot of times in these forms now, they have a, you know, you don't want to say, and from now on that's what I'm going to be ticking, because I don't want to be defined by this. I mean, I certainly don't want to be looked at through the history of white people who dominated the planet and of all the bad things that have been done. Which, you know, that's evident, you know, it's still going on to this day, you know, with Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. It's still going on today, where white people of power who happen to be white are still looking down on other people. Because you notice they never invade other white countries, do they? That says it all. So yeah, it was very interesting. I suggest that anyone who's looking for truth is a very good place to start. Subtle Infinity. He has a lot of different subjects, and he's very passionate and is very well spoken. very cohesive arguments that he makes, and he makes you see things that, you know, those things that I've mentioned before, the things that are in plain sight that you take for granted. You don't realise that you're doing all these things, and you're actually playing, like he says, you're playing into their game by labelling yourself. So we should stop doing this and actually empower ourselves, which is the hardest thing, really. I don't know how we go about doing that. With me, I'm doing it through these things, by verbalizing my journey, by hopefully changing things, like I said just now, that I'm going to change, and standing up for myself more, and realizing that this is a game, and we don't have to play this game if we don't really want to. And like you said, the first was about power. The first way of losing power is by thinking that you don't have it. Anyway, take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.